Good evening. I'm going to open tonight's meeting of the Queensbury Zoning Board of Appeals on May 20th, 2020. If you've not been to our meeting before, the format is kind of simple. There should be a agenda. It would have been on the ground on your way in. Is there some on the table now, which will list the variances or the people and their order? We'll call each person up. They'll present their case. We'll question the person. If a public meeting has been advertised, then we'll take comment from the public, and then we'll vote on the application. Tonight's meeting is a little different in a number of different ways. We're going to ask each applicant if you could limit your participation to a single person, unless you think it's really important that multiple people be involved. The first four cases, we've already listened to the applicant. We've read their application into the record, but they lacked a public hearing. So for the first four applications, really all we'll be doing is opening the public hearing and looking for comments from the public. Then beyond that, we'll be doing some new applications. So the first order of business is approval of the meeting minutes from February 19th. But I believe that we already did that, didn't we?
I don't have that information. I believe that you would just reapprove it. Right now, we don't have a resolution that exists for the approval,
So I'm going to ask for a resolution to approve the meeting minutes of February 19th.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of February 19th, 2020.
So we have a resolution. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Call the vote, please.
Mrs. Hamlin?
yes.
Mr. Kuehl?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayward?
Yes.
Mr. Henkel?
Yes.
Mr. Rico?
Yes.
Mr. Underwood?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Yes. And so our first application is Aftab Bahadi. So if you would come up to the podium, please. I probably hacked that up. I don't know if I pronounced it properly or not. It's location 547 Aviation Road. In this application, the applicant proposes to build and enclose a sunroom off the pool area. Construction of 240 covered porch in the far rear of the motel. And he's looking for relief for floor to area ratio and setbacks. So at this particular time, I'm going to open the public hearing and ask if there's anybody in the audience who would like to comment on this application.
I would also note, that folks that would like to call in for the public hearing can call in at 518-761-8225, and we can go from there. I would wait at least 2 minutes.
Okay. So Roy, do we have any written?
There are no written comments.
So I'll ask, has anything changed since the last time you were here?
No.
And obviously, there's no entry doors or exit doors in that sunroom, other
No.
than into the pool area.
That's the pool area, yes.
Is that any kind of fire hazarding or problem with that, not having a door, exit door? I would imagine that was handled by That's not a problem?
I'm sorry, what did you ask?
I was, that's not a problem having no exit there on that addition?
On that addition, no, that would be in regards to building and codes.
Right.
And really, there's no closed door to that portion of the sunroom now.
Okay.
It's an open walkway. I got one more minute.
Okay. So when you leave, I'm going to ask if you'd wipe down the area and take your wipes with you. Do
There's-
we have wipes there? Okay.
Yep, and there's a garbage can on the side, so.
Oh, okay, I see, yep, yep.
Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so at this particular time, I'm going to close the public hearing, and I'm going to poll the board, and I'm going to start with Michelle.
I was in favor at our last meeting, so I continue to be in favor of this application.
Ron?
I think it's straightforward. I have no issue with it. Yeah, I think it's a good project.
Roy?
I'm in favor of the application.
John?
Yeah, I think it's better for the neighborhood, especially having an open deck there. The neighborhood's pretty close in the back there, so it being enclosed, that will take care of any kind of noise problem. So I'm in favor of it, yes.
Jim?
They're minor modifications. I don't think there's any negative aspect to this project.
Catherine, is that you down there?
Yes, it is. I agree they're not asking for a lot, and what they're doing will actually make it better for the customers.
And I have no problem with the application either, so at this particular time, I'm going to ask for a motion. Ron? Oh, excuse me, Ron, I didn't.
That's okay. I didn't have, but yes, Mr. Chairman, I can do that. I want to, I can also can I make a point at this time? I was not at the original meeting, although I did read the meeting minutes. I am in favor of it, so is it okay if I make the recommendation?
Absolutely.
All right. I want to make a recommendation that we approve file number AV 3-2020. As per the document provided by staff, we find that there is no undesirable change to the character, neighbor, or detriment to nearby properties, as this is a simple job of just enclosing an existing deck. Feasible alternatives are really have been presented, and there are really none. They are reasonable and have been included to minimize the request. Although we could suggest that this variance is not substantial, there is not an adverse impact on the physical and environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. The alleged difficulty, we could suggest, is self-created, but it's only because he is closing in the existing deck. In addition, the board finds that the benefit to the applicant from granting the requested variance would outweigh the resulting detriment to health, safety, welfare, and of the neighborhood and community. The board also finds that this variance request under consideration is minimal. With that in mind, we suggest that I suggest that we approve area variance AV 3-2020.
So I have a motion, can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like the motion to be amended to include the rear porch and the sunroom. Right now, it just mentions the sunroom,
Okay.
so. you can-
That's fine.
Motion is amended as stated. So second? Do we have a second?
Second.
Call the vote, please.
Mr. Henkel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hayward,
Yes?
Mr. Kuhl,
Yes.
Mrs. Hamlin,
Yes,
Mr. Rico,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. McCabe.
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you're the first person that we've had under our new format here.
Yeah. Okay.
very thorough. He even has to love that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So our next application is Manford Uncuff at 38 Highland Drive, and it's area variance AV 4-2020.
That's correct.
How are you?
Very good. How are you?
Good. So basically, the applicant proposes to remove an existing garage and construct a larger one with a second story, and he's looking for relief for number of garages. So has anything changed since the last time you were here?
No.
So at this particular time, I'm going to open the public hearing and ask if there's anybody in the audience or anybody that would like to call in at what's the number, 761-8225?
Correct.
Or anybody that would like to call in to give us input on this particular application? Roy, do we have anything, anything written?
There's one comment. This is to notify you that I, Mary Jane Sotansky, residing at 21 Highland Drive, Queensbury, New York, have no objection or concerns regarding the area variance that has been proposed for approval by Manfred Unkal and Joan McGrath for their application proposal to remove the old garage and construct a new garage with a second story. 21 Highland Drive. That's all I have.
So we'll just wait for a couple minutes and see if anybody will call in. It's a pretty fancy phone here now. Can I, will I make any mistakes if I pick it up?
You
or
shouldn't
is it
be,
straightforward?
no, if not, if something happens, I'll be able to pitch in.
I have to say, I've never used an Avaya phone before. Is that a South Korean company?
Don't know. I don't know where it's from.
Ron, are you familiar with those? You're an old telephone man.
Real old telephone.
Mr. Chairman, you're all set with the public hearing. There's been 2 minutes.
Okay, so at this particular time, I'm going to close the public hearing and poll the board, and I'm going to start with Catherine.
Okay, I think I asked exactly the same question last time. And it's,
Well, we're done with the questions, so this is, you're going to give your opinion.
oh, okay. I just wanted to be sure I was voting on the right thing. But
Okay,
the wood shed is what's remaining, the one with the wood?
Correct.
is
Yes.
remaining.
The
Okay.
woodshed
all right.
doesn't change.
Yeah, okay, so I think I know which building it is, and I would approve it.
And the little deck on the side, that was supposed to be a loading platform, but I'm going to just eliminate that because I can load with the forklift right up in that upstairs door.
Well, it's a large parcel and wooded, so I don't have an issue.
so John?
Yeah, also, it's, 10.31 acres there. They're obviously an RR 3A area. I would say the property warrants many accessory buildings, and so I would not have a problem with it. It's not creating any problem with setbacks or anything, so I would have no problem with it.
Roy?
Yeah, normally I would object to this type of proposal, even though the zoning code does not specify acreage in terms of what's allowed and what isn't allowed. But I think in this case, it's a good application. I'd be in favor of it.
Ron?
I agree with my, my previous board members' comments, and I would have no problem.
Michelle?
I'm also in favor of the project.
Jim?
I have no problem with this request.
So at this particular time, I closed the public hearing, so I'm going to ask for a motion. And Catherine, could you possibly make the motion for us?
Okay. I will move that we approve variance request number AV 4202. And do I need to name the applicant?
No, just,
That's sufficient, okay.
but it's not 202, it's 2020.
Okay, 2020, all right. Will do. It is determined that we will approve this variance, given the fact that, well, is it a variance? Yes, it is a variance. This will create no undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood, nor is it detriment to nearby properties. And we have noted in particular that the site is wooded and ample. Feasible alternatives might be considered, but, you know, given the request and the minimal nature of it, this seems reasonable. The requested variance here is really not substantial in terms of the number of garages, and I think the way we see it, some of them are not actually garages by technical nature. There's no obvious impact on the physical environmental conditions of the neighborhood. It's practically in the same area, almost on the same footprint. Yes, it is a self-stated hardship, but that isn't a bad factor here. In addition, the board finds that the benefit to the applicant from granting the requested variance would outweigh any resulting detriment to the health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood or the community at large. The board also finds that this variance request is under consideration is the minimum necessary. We have no conditions to approve. You adhere to? Well, that's the motion.
So I have a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Call the vote, please.
Mrs. Hayward,
Yes.
Mr. Kuhl,
Yes.
Mrs. Hamlin,
Yes?
Mr. Yuriko,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Henkel,
Yes.
Mr. McCabe.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
So our next application is area variance 5-2020, Thomas Heinzelman, 52 Reardon Road. We're going to ask that, unless you really think it's necessary, that only one of you come and present the case. You've actually already presented your case. So all we're going to, unless something's radically changed since the last time you were here.
Okay.
Has anything changed?
No, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just for the record, again, Lucas Doby with Hutchins Engineering, and Kurt Dybus, the architect, and Tom Heinzelman, the project sponsor and landowner. And we talked about it in February.
Yeah.
We're just here to reaffirm our 40-foot.
Actually, what we have to do is, we didn't have the public hearing, so we need to have the public hearing and then proceed from there.
Okay.
So at this particular time, I'm going to open the public hearing and ask if there's anybody in the audience that would like to present information on this application. And hold on just a second. And also, I'm going to ask if there's anybody who would like to call in to 761-8225 to comment on this application. So state your name for the record.
My name is Pete Roselle. I live at 47 Reardon Road, which borders the west side of Mr. Heinzelman's property. I also own property on the north side and property on the south side. I think it's a great project. I've seen the drawings. I don't think there's going to be any negative impacts, and I think we should hopefully pass this thing tonight.
Okay, thank you. Now, I'm going to ask you to take a wipe the surface there and the
Yep.
microphone.
Yep,
And
sorry.
then throw the wipe away when you're done.
Yep.
Thank you. Right there. Is there anybody else who would like to comment on this particular application? Roy, is there anything written?
Yeah, there's several letters. One is from Sidel Claims Services, and they attach some letters. We are nearby owners, and we recommend approval of Mr. Heinzelman's application. we are, it's a similar letter, same wording, and this is Rachel Murray and Elizabeth Giblin. And that's 70 Reardon Road. Patricia Petropavlova, who lives at 60 Reardon Road, stopped in the zoning office to state that she has no objection to the work that Mr. Thomas Heinzelman wishes to do at 52 Reardon Road. She spoke with Maria Gagliotti, and she also sent a fax in as well. And then we are neighbors of Thomas Heinzelman. This is the same letter I read earlier. This is the Seidel Family Irrevocable Trust, and that's 70 Reardon Road. So that's it.
So we'll just wait for a couple minutes to see if anybody calls in.
They act now, did he get a free set of knives or something?
I thought we were going to be on Zoom and we'd get like a TikTok dance routine or something like that, but apparently, yeah, Michelle, come on, far advanced.
You did dance class, didn't you? Probably should have, but I did not.
Mr. Chairman, you're all set.
Okay, so at this particular time, I'm going to close the public hearing, and I'm going to poll the board, and I'm going to start with Michelle.
Based on our discussion from our previous meeting about this and tonight's discussion, I'm in favor. I think it's going to be an improvement of the property and fit in with the character of the neighborhood.
John?
Yeah, the pluses definitely outweigh the negatives, with the septic system being more than 200 feet from the lake. That's a plus. It's going to do some stormwater management, some landscaping. It's definitely a plus to the lake and to the neighbors, so it definitely outweighs what they're asking for relief in the variances, so I'd definitely be on board for it.
Jim?
I have no problem with the request. It's a replacement and an upgrade from what's there. The deck's going to be essentially in the same place, which is 38 feet back. That's much further back than most of the decks on the lake.
Catherine?
Yes, I'm going to vote to approve.
And Ron?
Were you expecting me to say no? No, you know, this is another situation we get because of the lineup of the houses. Although he's asking for relief with the 38 feet, it's a good project, it really is. It blends in with the whole community. So I'd be in favor of it.
And I'm impressed that the applicant got so many people that live around them to approve of the project, and so I too would okay this application. So at this particular time...
I'm in favor of the project as well.
Oh, really? I'm sorry. I'm not used to this new arrangement here. I'm confused. So at this particular time, Jim, I'm going to ask for a motion.
Sure. I'm going to move that we approve area variance 5-2020 at 52 Reardon Road. Again, it's Tom Heinzelman's project. The applicant proposes to demo an existing home to construct a new home with a 1,510 square foot footprint and a 2,604 square foot total floor area. Site work includes grading, stormwater, landscaping, well, and septic. The project is subject to site plan for the new floor area and a critical environmental area. The applicant is proposing a new home where the open deck is to be located 38.3 feet where a 50-foot setback is required. That's the same exact location of the current deck on the house, so we don't see that as any detriment. The permeability is proposed to be 58.6% where 75% is required and 62.6% is existing, so it'll be a slight improvement. We do not know any undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood nor detriment to nearby properties with this proposed project. As far as feasible alternatives, this is about the only alternative you could do is a replacement in kind for what's already there presently and will improve the situations with a new septic system. The requested variance is not substantial because the deck will be located in the exact same setback as previously, and there will be an improvement in the permeability of the project. As far as adverse impacts on physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood, we do not note any. All the neighbors locally and living nearby next door will not have approved this project as proposed. And as far as the alleged difficulty being self-created, it's more self-created by the fact that the lot is a smaller, substandard sized lot, which pre-exists on Glen Lake along with all the other ones on that side of the lake. In addition, the board finds the benefit to the applicant from granting the requested variance outweighs any resulting detriment because we do not know any detriment to health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood or community. And we find it's the minimum necessary for its approval.
So we have a motion, can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Call the vote, please.
Mr. Kuhl?
Yes.
Mrs. Hamlin?
Yes.
Mr. Yuriko?
Yes.
Mr. Underwood?
Yes.
Mr. Henkel?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayward?
Yes?
Mr. McCabe?
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So our next application is SV 3, 2020, and it's Hutchins Engineering, 1454 State Route 9.
I'll try not to touch anything.
Well, it's just, so we're going to ask that when you leave, that you wipe everything down, throw the wipe away. And
That's fine.
so for the
Okay.
record, state your name, please.
Laura Coles, I'm one of the owners of the property at 1454 State Route 9.
And so has anything changed since you were
Nothing has
here the
changed.
last time?
No, sir.
So at this particular time, I'm going to open the public hearing on SV 3-2020. And I'm going to ask if there's anybody in the audience who would like to present information on this application. And I would like to invite any of the public watching from outside of our location here to call in at 518-761-8225 to provide comment on this particular application. Seeing nobody in the audience, Roy, do we have any written? Oh,
I'll just check and see if it's working.
you scared me. Roy, do we have any written?
There is no written comment.
Everything all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our hope is obviously this is a much smaller sign than what exists now. It's been there for more
We,
than
we
40
don't-
years that we've owned that property.
We don't
exact
normally
same
have
spot.
people wanting to make their signs smaller, so that's,
We're trying to modernize, make it a little bit more appropriate with the look and feel of what goes up new now.
Roy always says smaller is better. Right?
It's something. Stealing my thunder.
It used to be called the sign Nazi.
That was our other member.
Mr. Chairman, you're all set.
so at this time, I'd like to close the public hearing and poll the board. And Roy, I forgot you the last time, so I'll start with you this time.
And I'm in favor of the application. I just hope you know you're setting a bad precedent for some of your neighbors up and down the road there, actually requesting a smaller sign. They might get upset, but I'd be in favor of it.
Catherine?
I'm in favor. Smaller is better.
John?
Yeah, definitely. They utilize it for other businesses also, it looks like, so that's great. It can be smaller and
Jim?
It's the most reasonable request we've had for signs in quite some time.
Michelle?
I'm also in favor.
Ron?
I'm not in no. Thank you, it's a good project, I'd be in favor.
And I too support the project. First, we've got to do secra. So
I'll make
could I have a motion there?
I'll make a motion regarding sign variance 3-2020, based upon the information and analysis above supporting documentation provided by the applicant. This board finds will not result in any significant adverse environmental impact, so we give it a negative declaration.
So I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Call the vote, please.
Mrs. Hayward,
Yes.
Mr. Kuhl,
Yes.
Mrs. Hamlin,
Yes.
Mr. Rico,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Henkel,
Yes.
Mr. McCabe,
Yes. So now I need the application for the variance, and Ron, would you help me out there?
Again? Yes, sir, I will. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity. I would like to recommend that we approve sign variance SV 3-2020 as per the document prepared by staff. We find that will an undesirable change be produced in the character of the neighborhood, or will a detriment to the nearby properties be created by granting this variance of the requested sign variance? We basically thank the applicant for reducing the size of the sign and modernizing it. Can the benefits sought by the applicant be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than a sign variance? No, it is, again, a situation to where the signs are close to the road and there's just not any room to move it back. And we find that the sign variance is really not substantial. Will the proposed sign have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions of the neighborhood district? No, it will not, as it is a smaller sign. Is the alleged difficulty self-created? We could say that, but that's just a product of the sign being close to the road. In addition, the board finds that the benefit to the applicant for granting the requested variance would outweigh the resulting detriment to the health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood community. The board also finds that the variance requested in consideration as a reduction is minimal as necessary, and therefore I recommend we approve area variance.
This is sign variance.
Sign variance, I apologize, Mr. Chairman. Sign variance SV 3-2020.
So I have a motion. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Call the vote, please.
Mr. Rico,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Henkel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hayward,
Yes.
Mr. Kuhl,
Yes.
Mrs. Hamlin,
Yes.
Mr. McCabe,
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
So that concludes our old projects, and now we start a couple of new ones. And so the first one will be SV 5-2020, also 1454 State Route 9, and the agent is Saxton Signs.
The applicant proposes 5 wall signs, 2 Starbucks sign, a circle logo signs, 19.62 square feet each, 1 Starbucks word sign, 21.75 square feet, and 2 drive-through signs, 6.96 square feet each at the top of the building. The project includes installing freestanding digital signs, pre-menu board panel at 6.72 square feet, and order menu boards with 3 panels, 22.9 square feet. The project includes directional signage consistent with Chapter 140. The request is for a number of wall signs and a number of freestanding signs. And again, this is per Section 140, signs in the commercial intensive zone, CI. The applicant is currently constructing a commercial building that proposes wall signs and freestanding signs. The proposed business is allowed 1 wall sign and 1 freestanding sign. The plans indicate 5 wall signs are proposed where only 1 is allowed. The plans indicate 3 freestanding signs are proposed and only 1 is allowed. Note the applicant has a separate sign variance for a freestanding sign to include space for the hotel, Starbucks, and future tenant. So relief is for that sign is for setbacks. The criteria for considering a sign variance according to Chapter 140 of Town Law. In making a determination, the board shall consider, one, whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood, or a detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of this sign variance. Staff says that minimal to no impacts to the neighborhood may be anticipated. Two, whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than a sign variance. Feasible alternatives may be considered to reduce the number of signs requested. Three, whether this requested sign variance is substantial. Relief requested may be considered substantial relevant to the code. Relief is requested to have 4 additional wall signs and 2 additional freestanding signs. 4, whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. The project as proposed may have minimal to no impact on the environmental conditions of the neighborhood. And 5, whether the alleged difficulty was self-created. The difficulty may be considered self-created. Staff comments. The applicant proposes to install 5 wall signs and 3 freestanding signs for the new proposed Starbucks restaurant. The plan shows signage on each side of the building, a pre-menu digital freestanding sign, and a menu digital freestanding sign. The project site is within the shopping plaza outlets and has an existing hotel building behind where Starbucks is to be located.
How you doing?
State your name for the record, please.
Yep, my name's Terry Meisner from Saxon Sign Corp. So it's basically your standard Starbucks, and they got their logo on 2 sides and their name on 1 side, and then their drive-through as kind of a directional to guide people into the drive-through. And they are all illuminated, and they go around, the building. Directionals are, there to guide you in the right direction. They're all under 4 feet. And basically, what they're looking for. You kind of said everything that we're looking for. So we're looking for the 2 logos, the 2 drive-throughs, the 1 Starbucks that spells out Starbucks. And then the directionals as well. And there's a clearance sign, which they're gonna need that for the, and the, as far as the drive-through as you go through, they're gonna need the, I lost the words here.
The menus.
The menu boards to, so people can see, and they're digital.
Right.
But they're more like a TV, they're not like the digitals that you see on the side of the road that are really bright, they're more of a digital sign. They're more of a TV, not a digital.
So, kind of similar to what McDonald's does, right?
Yes, yeah.
So do we have questions of the applicant? John?
So some of that stuff will shut off, obviously, when it's not in use at night.
Well, yeah, if they're not using it, yeah.
Right.
And they're not bright, they're not gonna have them, real bright, because they'll blind people if they come around the corner. I wanna be able to see them and read them.
Are they angled so that only the driver can see them?
Yes, yeah.
Are you part of Hilton Signs, or are you the owner?
No, I'm part of Saxon Sign. Hilton,
You're the sign man.
yeah, they hired us, they're gonna
Okay.
hire us to install them.
Well, now, so you have nothing to do with the old Starbucks on Aviation Road, right?
No, we'll probably remove the signs that are there.
Okay, your B signs, right, the directional wall signs?
Yep.
You could paint that in the asphalt. The way America goes to Starbucks and McDonald's and all the fast food places, they always look for the drive-up windows.
Yeah,
You could eliminate that B signs real easy. Or you could even eliminate the F sign too. I mean, people know where they're going. You're asking for an awful lot. But I think your directional ones, you have the number B signs, they could be done in the asphalt. You're probably gonna mark the asphalt, right, with lanes? They're gonna see the directional bar, they're gonna know where they're gonna go, they're gonna go around the back, and, the world is into drive-up.
yep.
But, So I think you're asking for an awful lot. I think you should rethink some of the things, but my opinion is at least those Bs could go away, if not even that F. But that's all I have to say. I guess I should ask you, could that directionals be put in the asphalt, yes or no?
When
You're not the asphalt man, you're the
anything's-
sign man, right?
Yes, anything is possible, but
Okay.
yes, we just do the signs, and that's, this is what the Starbucks wants. This is kind of their corporate thing that they've been doing with all the stores.
I understand that. That's a good way to approach it, but I could take you down to Clifton Park where Walmart is always blue and it's green down there.
Yeah.
You know, so that's fine that Starbucks wants to do it, but you also have to do your signage based on the local requirements. And I think you're asking for an awful lot.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you.
The only problem is in our zoning and our rules, we really don't have anything that's different for drive-through businesses compared to, so you're gonna need more signage for drive-through businesses compared to regular businesses.
Well, if you look at the other Starbucks on Aviation Road, there are no arrows.
I understand what you're saying.
And people just truck around the back.
And I agree, there's plenty of, there's more, no need for those signs, I agree with that, but
Okay.
I'm just saying that the relief that they're asking for is, there should be a different zoning for drive-throughs compared to just a regular business.
Well, either that, you're suggesting that we have to change our sign regs, right?
Yes, for drive-throughs, I'm just saying, drive-throughs, you would need a little bit more signage.
Well, I guess that's part of the things you should recommend to Mr. Craig Brown, and we get together and change them then. But I mean, we're living by the rules we have
Oh,
now.
I realize,
Okay,
you're right.
okay.
Can I clarify the F sign, that directional sign? That's compliant.
Okay.
The drive-through sign on top of the building, that's the one that's not compliant.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think they need the Starbucks sign on the back. You know, once they go into that building, they know where they're going.
I agree with that. I think
And
that's-
I'll tell you very honestly, I'm not a hawk on signs, but I just took a look at the one on Aviation Road today, and I said, holy, there's nothing. The one in the front, everybody knows how to get around the back. But
I agree, what's the beneficial of the sign in the back? I mean, other than for the hotel maybe in the back,
Yeah.
but people in the back probably gonna know that's a Starbucks anyways. So I agree with that, I think that's something that should be considered, that sign not be there.
Well, the only thing is, it's not really a good comparison, apples to apples with, in the complex there versus the one on Aviation, which is a standalone, and, kind of has developed over the years. And, the drive-through didn't used to be as popular as it is now. So
It's
that
real popular
Starbucks
now.
has evolved, where this one has got to establish itself, so to speak.
Would you tell me what the I sign is, the DOS on canopy?
The one with the canopy is a speaker, I believe.
I think it says on here a pre-menu board. Is that kind of a looking board so they can look at what's being served?
It's probably, it's like a they're usually like a speaker so you can place your order. And
Okay.
it has like a menu, it tells you, like,
Okay.
if you go to McDonald's, it tells you what you're ordering,
Gotcha,
You got 3 Big Macs and a fry or whatever.
sure.
So are there more questions for the applicant? Seeing none, at this particular time, I'm going to open the public hearing and ask if there's anybody in the audience that would like to comment on this application, and invite viewers from the outside to call in at 518-761-8225 if they have, if you have comments on this particular application. Roy, do we have any written comment on the application?
No, there is no written comment.
So would you give way at the podium? There's a comment from the public. So I'm going to just a second. I'm going to ask that you wipe down the area. So give him just a second. State your name for the record.
Laura Coles, again, the owner of 1454. We will be the landlord of this particular tenant. You know, we're okay with them having the signs that they've requested. We would point out that this is as a more commercial area as compared to the Exit 19 Aviation, which is more of a residential. It's been there for quite a long time. It's more locals who go there and know what they're doing.
I wouldn't call it exactly residential.
Well, it's more local, it's more local, a
Right.
local destination as compared to the outlet destination where there will be much more commercial traffic who may need more assistance in understanding where they're to go at this point with all the transient and the various people that come through. So we, you know, have obviously looked at it as well, consider it to be consistent with a lot of their other signage packages around the country. So we, as the landlord, are okay with the project.
Okay, thank you. Now, hold on a second. I'm
Wipe
going to
off.
ask you to
Yep.
wipe down the area.
Yep.
So you can come back. John, you going to call in?
I don't go to Starbucks, so I don't know, is this a common, are all these signs necessary, is that what they?
That is their,
says
one
that
of their,
they have to have?
that's one of their new sign programs. I don't know if it's all necessary. That's why I pointed some of the information out in the staff notes.
I'm kind of like thinking like the Ron Coombe there, at the unnecessary sign in the back there.
Mr. Chairman, you're all set.
So at this particular time, I'm going to close the public hearing, and I'm going to poll the board, and I'm going to start with Jim.
Yeah, I think the request is excessive. You know, I don't care what corporate says. Our current code allows you to have one wall sign, you know, and that's been adequate for, I don't think we make the distinction for fast food restaurants or quick pickups, quick stop places and things like that. So I think that, you know, you could eliminate the two round logos and just have Starbucks written on the front of the building. People are traveling slow on that road during the busy times of year. I don't think it's an issue with finding a place. Everybody has an app on their phone when they're looking for places now. So I think one sign on the front that says Starbucks is good enough for me.
So you're a no?
I'm not in favor of it.
Okay, so Michelle?
I am also not in favor, as proposed. I think you could achieve your goal with at least half of the signs. I'm in agreement with all my board members, especially the wall signs for the drive-through. I don't think people would see them up there. People should be having their eyes on the road. So that's my opinion.
So Catherine?
Yes, I'm in agreement that it's excessive. And what I like to look at is aggregate. So whatever the size of the one wall sign that's allowed, if however many signs you have, and I think it could be less than this, or closer to the aggregate. Like what's aggregated would be the same size as the one wall size. I could go for that, but not as presented. No, needs work.
So Roy?
I'm in agreement with everybody else. I think there's excessive amount of signs here, and given where it's located, we already have a pollution of signs in that area, so I would recommend that we not approve this.
Ron?
Yeah, you know, you could eliminate the one sign on the front, the C sign, and put an A sign. But yeah, I'm not in favor of the way it's presented. I realize that you need a monument panel, you need a DOS canopy, you need a menu board, you need a pre-menu board, you know, and the F sign that has to be there according to our regs. But, you know, you want two A signs, you don't need two A signs. But anyway, I'm not in favor of the way it's presented.
John?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with what Ron has said. Too much signage at this time.
Okay.
So, it sounds like you're not going to get very far, so you got a couple of possibilities here. You can ask that we table this
Yep.
and come back and take a look at it, or you can ask that we take a vote, you know what the results are going to be.
No, we'll probably table it.
Okay, so I'm going to, John, ask for a motion to table this
but when's-
until...
Can I interrupt? So my question is, right now, the way the schedule works, it would be tabled till July, and I want to confirm, I knew there was an issue with opening in July. So I'm looking, I apologize, I'm looking at Laura and Dave. So what's the table till July? And it would be the third or fourth Wednesday in July. Okay.
Yeah, 'cause if you vote it out, it'll be the same thing anyway.
I'm sorry, what?
If you vote no on it, it'll be the same thing as well, right?
Correct. That's why I just want to, I would encourage you to table.
Yeah.
I was just trying to find an appropriate timeframe, working with that, you and the owner, and
So first-
how we
information
do our
submitted by-
dialogue.
First meeting in July, information submitted by the middle of June.
Yes.
Got it?
Can I just interject for a moment? Would it be allowable for them to put up a single wall sign if they're gonna open early?
They can obtain a permit for a single wall sign.
The Starbucks one will work for sure, so.
So any sign that is 30 square feet, they can potentially get a permit for.
Right.
So it's not deny, it's deny, it would, right now, it's on hold in the sense for all of the signs, but if the applicant wishes to apply for one sign permit that's 30 square feet, they could potentially do that.
Okay, I'll make a motion to table sign variance 5-2020 with new information submitted by June 15th. Okay,
We got to table it until the first meeting in July.
yeah, we table till the first meeting of July, and
Information submitted by...
information submitted by the 15th of June.
So I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I apologize.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm sorry, can we ask one question on their behalf, please?
Sure, absolutely.
So the issue that they're gonna have is with the signage mounted on the building. Do you foresee there being a problem with the signage that goes through the drive-through? Because I believe that's, they have,
Well,
supposed to be.
I think the issue is too many signs. So I think if you could reduce the number of signs, that would go a long way in getting your project approved.
No, let me clarify, I think, because we have to run electrical to the backside as far as where those menus
Oh, I see, I see.
are, is that doesn't sound to me like that's the biggest issue. It sounds like it's more the number of signs that they have physically on the building, not their drive-through order menu section.
The order menus are,
Okay.
I
just wanted
think,
to clarify
okay,
that, please. Thank you.
So you're not necessarily installing those? Okay.
No, but we have to run power, so
Got
we'd
it.
like to know before we cut through. We don't
I
want to cut
understand.
through too much concrete, we don't have to for their power if they're,
Okay,
as far as where those are going to be located.
okay.
so I have a motion, I have a second. Call the vote, please.
Mrs. Hamlin?
Oh, no.
Sorry,
Oh,
it's being
yes, to
tabled.
table,
No,
sorry.
you're tabling.
Yes, to table.
Mr. Rico?
Yes.
Mr. Underwood?
Yes.
Mr. Henkel?
Yes.
Hayward?
Yes?
Mr. Kuhl?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Yes. So we'll see you in a couple months.
Okay, well, thank you.
And so our last application is SV 4-2020, which is Walmart.
Give me a second. I'm trying to coordinate whether she's going to call in or if she's in the parking lot.
Oh, okay.
There you go. She's ready.
This is the Queensbury Zoning Board of Appeals.
It would have been much easier to say what you
Okay,
Just Starbucks,
you've done it.
and the menus are the same. This is all.
Is this Walmart?
Yes. Hold on just a second.
So we're going to put it on speaker, okay?
We have 2 meetings this month?
Okay, so, are you still there, Michelle? Did I get the name right? No, Joanne,
It
right?
is Michelle, this is just.
Oh, okay. All right, so right now you're on speakerphone. And besides the board, you're the only person in the room. See if I can,
That's fine, we should, if she would like to say her name,
yeah, I'll have to do that. So do I need this receiver or?
you can leave it down.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read your application into the record, and then I'll ask you to state your name, and you can provide any additional information that you think is proper. So right now, we'll proceed with reading your application into the record.
The applicant proposes updates. Do you want to read in the number of the sign, the sign variance number?
Yeah, everything, just the way you normally do it.
Sign variance number 4, 2020. Project applicant is Teresa Jones, Walmart. Project location is 891 State Route 9. The applicant is proposing an update to 7 of the 11 Walmart signs. Walmart would spark existing 298 square feet to 299.04 square feet. Place the word market with grocery. Existing 17.97 square feet to 26.27 square feet. Home and pharmacy, existing is 61.85 square feet, reduced to 60.74 square feet. Replacing tire and lube at 16.34 square feet to auto center at 17.23 square feet. 4 tire signs, existing 2.38 square feet each, proposed 2.58 square feet each. 2 lube signs, existing is 3.13 square feet, proposed is 2.98 square feet. The overall signage existing is 433.49 square feet and proposed is 443.11 square feet. The project includes relief for a number of size and signs. And this is per chapter 140, signs, commercial intensive zone, CI. Again, the making a sign a variance according to chapter 140 of town law. Staff sees minimal impacts to the neighborhood may be anticipated. Feasible alternatives may be considered to replace signage with same or smaller. The applicant has indicated the brand is changed to font scheme for signage. The relief requested may be considered substantial relevant to the code. Relief is requested for maintaining 11 signs, and 7 of the signs are modified in size. The project, as proposed, may have minimal impact on the environmental conditions of the district, and the difficulty may be considered self-created. Staff comments, the applicant has indicated 7 of the existing signs are to be modified, and the plan show the location and the font change for the 7 signs. Okay?
So at this particular time, if you could state your name for the record.
Hello, my name is Michelle Yoder, and I am speaking on behalf of the architect for the Walmart remodel at 891 State Route 9.
Could you hear the information that was read into the record okay?
Yes.
Do you have anything to add?
I would just like to reiterate, we are not asking to update the number of signs. We're asking to keep the number of signs the same. The reasoning behind updating the signage is due to Walmart's newer branding initiatives, which included both a font change as well as just verbiage change, such as changing market to grocery and tire and lube to auto center. That's about it. Otherwise,
So it must have been that at some previous time, you got the okay to have more than the normal number of signs. So you're not adding any signs. All you're doing is increasing the square footage by 10 square feet and moving the signs around, changing the font and information on the sign. Is that correct?
That is correct. We are keeping each sign. We are replacing it at the same location of where the existing sign is. We're not necessarily moving any signs, but yes, we are just replacing the existing signs that are currently on the building.
So do we have any questions for the applicant? Seeing none, at this particular time, I'd like to...
I do have a question. Is there any possibility of reducing the number of signs? Because we just passed, we just expanded your signage recently to accommodate the pickup area. So you actually have 2 more signs, I believe, maybe 3, than you had last year at this time.
No, they actually reduced the number of signs due to that, so it still maintained the 11.
But it's still more than we originally gave them when they first came in 2003.
No, they removed the sign so that the pickup sign could go in.
Okay.
Other questions? So at this particular time, I'm going to open the public hearing and ask if there's anybody who has input on this particular project. Now, how do I invite people to call from the outside?
She will have to hang up and call us back in 2 minutes.
So, Michelle, can I request that you hang up and call us back in about 2.5 minutes?
Yes, yep, I can do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
So now I'll invite anybody who's watching from the outside who wants to comment on this particular project to call us at 518-761-8225. Roy, is there anything written?
There's no comment.
Oh, you might have to hang up the phone.
Do I have to do anything with the speakerphone, or will that
It
stay?
should automatically disconnect when you hang up the phone.
Okay. There's a really little red light still on where it says speaker.
We should have like a little music in between, you know, like Jeopardy music or something.
Sing us a tune.
We're gonna put, Michelle, you're in charge of that.
I was dancing, he's singing.
I mean, when I was working for New York Tel, and then we went to 9X, and then we went to Bell Atlantic.
Yeah, that's right.
I like that better.
Every time the
I could
branding
probably
changed,
sing
it
that.
was...
Kelly and Bucks and Doritos.
Yep. Yep.
It's a very entertaining meeting we're having this evening. That's probably because we're on television, maybe?
Yep.
Oh, behind the mask.
We've been sidelined for so long.
You know, this is the largest gathering of human beings I've been in 2 months. I'm not kidding.
My wife and I played zoning board for the last 2 meetings, yeah.
I got in trouble with Christine again. Launching my boat. Mm. Well, the guy that does it said he couldn't be there till 9.
You guys are on the record here.
I apologize.
Caroline, you could announce that she could call back in because she may be watching.
So Michelle, our time is up, so you can call back in anytime. This is Mike McCabe from the Queensbury Zoning Board of Appeals. Okay, hold on, let me put you back on speakerphone. Okay, can you hear us all right?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so there were no comments from the public. So at this particular time, I'm going to close the public hearing, and I'm going to poll the board, and I'll start with Ron.
I have no problem with this project. A little bit of rebranding they're doing is good. I have no problem with it.
Roy?
Yeah, I'm in favor of it. On the face of it, it looks like a wash. It's really only difference of, about 10 feet, so I'd be okay with it.
John?
Yeah, there's a lot of signage, but it's pre-existing, and I'd be on board with it at this time.
Catherine?
I guess I will go along. I am a little concerned that the size is, that one size was increased, but the number is the same, so.
Michelle?
I'm in favor. The net change is so minimal compared to the existing, so I can be in favor of it.
Jim?
It's for the same relief that was requested previously for signage. It's just a slight increase, minimal.
And so I, too, approve the project. It's a huge property, and so I think that they're worthy of the signage that they have, and it goes along with their rebranding, if you would. So first we have to do SECRA. So, John, I'm going to ask for a motion for SECRA.
I'll make a motion regarding sign variance number 4-2020, based upon the information and the analysis of the above supporting documentation provided by the applicant. The board finds that this will not result in any significant adverse environmental impact, so we give it a negative declaration.
So I have a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Call the vote, please.
Mr. Underwood?
Yes.
Mr. Rico?
Yes.
Mrs. Hamlin?
Yes.
Mr. Kuhl?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayward?
Yes.
Mr. Henkel?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Yes. So now I need a motion on the application, and Catherine, I'm going to ask if you'll do that.
Okay. Just 1 second. I started packing up. I didn't know you'd call on me a second time. Sorry about that.
You can't get away just because you're far down the end there.
All right. Anticipating. Okay, so move to approve sign variance for file number SB4 2020 under for Walmart under the applicant Teresa Jones. I can't actually find the part. Oh, where's my? Oh, okay, hold on. I see. Okay, so based on our discussion and findings, I move to approve the sign variance for 2020 again, introduced by myself, I guess. The variance approval is, okay, I'm not following this. This is different than a usual area variance.
Jim, you want to help her out there?
Yeah.
Sure.
We're going to start with one, will it undesirable change?
Oh, I should be able to do that. Okay, so I'm starting not in the right place. So will there be an undesirable change produced in the character of the neighborhood, or will it be a detriment to those nearby properties by the granting of this requested sign variance? Upon discussion, it's a commercial area. They're not asking for any additional signage, just a slight increase in size, so the answer is no. Can the benefit sought by the applicant be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than sign variance? No, they need to change in coordination with the nationwide brand changes. So there's not too much around that. Is the requested sign variance substantial? There's a minimal increase to size, but no increase in the number of signs for which they previously received variances. Will the proposed sign variance have an adverse impact on the physical poor environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. Again, a very commercial area, and therefore there should be no environmental or physical impact. The alleged difficulty is self-created. Yes, it would be considered self-created, but that's just one criteria to consider, and should not shoot down the entire approval. In addition, the board finds the benefit to the applicant from the granting of the requested variance would be outweighed by any resulting detriment to the health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood community. The board also finds that the variance request under consideration is the minimum necessary.
I have a motion, can I have a second?
Second.
Call the vote, please.
Mr. Henkel?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayward?
Yes.
Mr. Kuhl?
Yes.
Mrs. Hamlin?
Yes.
Mr. Rico?
Yes.
Mr. Underwood?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Yes. So congratulations, your application has been approved.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
You too.
What do you think?
You can look at adjourning your meeting unless there's something else.
Well, I guess I'm looking for input from you. Was that
That was
what
it.
you kind of had in mind?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So at this particular time, I'm going to make a motion that we adjourn tonight's meeting. All in favor, say aye. Aye. So we're adjourned.